Hey guys, it's Davey here, and it's currently day 80. Hopefully, you guys had a wonderful week, and hopefully, you guys are doing better. Now, the weekend has started, but the week is still young. So, definitely don't lose momentum now and finish the week off like just how it started. Now, being today, my mom really wanted to lose weight, right? So she told me to write her a meal plan, right? Plan a meal plan for her so she can follow. Although at the beginning I had some hesitancy, right? Because I've been trying before, I wrote her meal plans, etc. And for some reason she just couldn't be disciplined enough, right? But nonetheless, I'm still gonna give it to her because I'll try everything on my part to make this happen, to make this weight loss happen, right? To I'll do anything in my power to support her, etc., to make the change happen. Now, at the end, if she does it or not, it is something I cannot force onto her. But if she wants the help, I'm here to provide it, right? That being said, today I want to talk about what is, a good meal plan. What does a good meal plan look like for a person to stick to? Right? How can you make a meal plan that you will be looking forward to and that this weight loss journey or weight gain journey will be successful? But let's be honest, guys, weight gain journey is always successful. It's only the weight loss journey that becomes tedious, hard, and we just become so tired of it because it is tiring to eat in a calorie deficit, right? Now, when I first started my weight loss journey or when I started cutting weight, right, I was cutting weight while doing weight resistance training. So I had a purpose to cut down while maintaining high amounts of muscle mass, right? So I was eating strategically. Now, the I got many, many things wrong, right? In my bulking diet, in my cutting diet, in my weight loss and weight gain, whatever you want to call it, right? I had many ups and downs and hiccups along the way. So my first diet, was very bad. I followed the iconic bodybuilder meal plan, right? Chicken broccoli rice or tuna rice, oats, potatoes, etc. Everything that a typical bodybuilder or etc. will eat to be on a calorie deficit. Now, obviously, my relationship back then with food is pretty bad, and at the moment, it is still pretty bad. I am still very strict, but like I say, guys, if you have a goal, if you have a purpose to reach, then the things you're doing will make sense to you. It may not make sense to someone else, but it truly makes sense to you. And it becomes so much easier to stick with this strategy, to stick with this meal plan, if at the end of the day, you know that this thing you are doing will put you one step closer towards your goal. Now, when I first started eating a meal plan, when I first started tracking my calories, I never stick to it, right? I had ups and downs. I'll be at it hammering for 1 week. I was like, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to stick with this journey. And then comes week two, I start giving in. I start ordering Macca's, KFC, all this BS and just refilling my body with all this junk. And I just honestly lost all the progress I made being on a diet, right? So diet was something I always had trouble sticking with, right? Even in a weight gain phase, right? I couldn't eat clean, right? I couldn't always be consistent tracking calories. I always had this trouble to maintain consistency and be persistent in my meal plan and in my training. Now, the turning point for me was when I realized that I became more effective at the gym. I delivered better results when I start being consistent with my meal plans, when I started being conscious of my protein, my carbs, my fat, my micronutrients, and calories intake on a day-to-day basis, right? I delivered better and I started seeing better results, right? And when results comes in, it is much harder for you then to screw things up, right? First of all, I just want to say that to stay consistent in the meal plan is not going to be easy, right? Not many people and not all people can stick through this meal plan, all right? No matter how convenient, how easy it is to stick with it, majority of people will still fail, right? This is still gonna take some discipline, and discipline is a tricky thing to develop, right? One day you might want to do it, and the next day you just feel like you never had introduced to this meal plan in the first place, right? But the turning point for me and for all people out there is a moment in your realization that this is what I have to do to get to point A and point B, right? Until that realization came to your conscious mind, then there's really minimum chances of you sticking through this meal plan, right? It is Doing this without a goal, without a purpose, you're floating around, and unlikely you're going to stick to it because you have no sense of direction as to why you're doing this, right? And sometimes simply losing the weight isn't a good enough reason for you to stick with this meal plan. And sometimes that really should be. But obviously, we can change this by making it more convenient, easy, and how we can actually make this meal plan something you're looking forward to, something you enjoy. And this is absolutely what I'm going to talk about now, right? So, being planning on how I'm going to tackle this new plan, knowing that my mom has, commitment issues and dedication issues with losing weight, with her weight loss journey. She's eager to do it. She knows it's the right thing to do. But obviously, back in my mind, I still has some, uncertainty as to if she really wants to do it, right? She says she wants to do it, but sometimes, guys, we got to be honest with ourselves. Are we saying the things we want to change and do because we truly want to, or because it is the right thing to say, right? A lot of the times we will say we want to be rich, we want to lose weight, we want to do this and that because it is the right thing to say. It is because simply it is the right thing to say, and we will be accepted and sympathized by people around us, right? But not because we truly want that for ourselves, right? We don't truly want it. We just say it because it is the most logical thing to say, right? And that is my uncertainty with my mom, right? Maybe she doesn't really want to lose the weight, but she's just saying it because it is the right thing to say. So this is a question you're going to ask yourself. Am I just saying this because I truly want to? Or is it because it's the right thing to say around the right people? Now, if that is you, then simply don't be on a meal plan. Don't do this. Just simply be happy living as you are. If you truly are content, then just, don't watch this video. Be content living as you are, right? For the people who actually do want to make their weight loss and meal plan more easier, convenient, then stay tuned because I'll suggest you guys how exactly you can do this. Now, first of all, understand that to be in a meal plan, to create a meal plan, you don't have to restrict anything. Right? You don't have to restrict anything. But just know the only thing you need to watch out for is calories in and calories out. Yes, you can eat popcorn. Yes, you can eat the beef jerky. You can eat the chips. You can eat the burgers if you want. But just know the only thing that is the gray edge and you cannot cross is calories in and calories out. That is your maintenance calorie. That is your calorie deficit. So anything below TDEE or anything calorie surplus, right? You don't want to go overboard, but you can always have anything you want, cereal, anything you want. Just realize that nothing is restricted, right? Going in the meal plan, we feel daunting. Right? It's a daunting task, and we are, a bit annoyed and anxious to start because we don't like the idea of not being able to eat certain foods that we love in our life. And we just want to be flexible. Now, flexibility is totally an option, right? We don't have to restrict the food we eat, right? Eat anything you want, but just know that the foods you do eat, all right, some foods, for example, a granola bar might have more calories than simply an oatmeal bar, all right? However, you can always make the things you like yourself, right? So take away the totally processed food, like maybe waffles you buy frozen, and you can make your own waffles. Now, that drastically will lower the calories of one waffle by 50 to 100 calories. Now, coming down to convenience wise, a lot of the times we don't stick with something because it is simply taking a lot of time out of our day, right? It's taking time out of our day, and we don't have that time to put into making foods, right? We don't have time to make granola bars, right? This is why we buy granola bars. We don't have time to make chips. This is why we buy chips, right? Things we do are because of convenience. We don't do them because we want to, because they are convenient majority of the time. So that said, coming back to making your own food, prepping your own food, of course we can do anything we want. We can make anything we want, but this is the time issue. Now, if you're a busy person, then find a time in your schedule, in your week, that you have 1 to 2 hours, right, in the day to really take it to yourself in the kitchen, right? Have fun in the kitchen, enhance your culinary skills, and make crazy dishes, make crazy meals, and just pack it for the whole week, right? And just put it in the fridge so it becomes then convenient, easy for you to eat, and very accessible when it's time to eat, right? So the 1 to 2 hours you spend is going to be totally worth it because think about it, guys. Do the math. You're going to cook anyways, right? every single day. And by cooking it every single day, you're going to end up with much more time wasted than simply cooking it in batch, in whole bulk, in one day, right? For example, you cook all your meals in one day, clean up dishes, chopping all that crap, 1 hour, minimum. That's minimum, maybe even max, but that's every day. So 7 days, that's gonna add up. But just taking that one day out of the week, I'm sure you guys have, a few hours, and then cook everything there will drastically save your time. And when it comes to eating throughout the week, you have much more accessible meals and you're more likely to stick to it because you have that meal available to your disposal, right? We fail meal plans because we get hungry. And when we get hungry, those meals are not available to us. It is when we crave into anything that is more convenient. Remember, convenient is the key, right? So without convenience, it is much harder to stick with this or any habit, in fact, right? We need it to be convenient. Now, budget may also be an issue to you, right? Budget, you may think that cooking at home may cost you more, buying fresh produce may cost you more than simply buying a Big Mac meal right at McDonald's. Well, here's the thing, guys. You can always reduce the cost of cooking at home than buying out. This is a total fact. It is statistics. No matter what you eat, you can always do it cheaper at home, right? This is how restaurants make money, guys. They do it because they make a profit for cooking the food for you, right? So no matter what you do, cooking the food and buying stuff alone will reduce the cost drastically. Now, there are always much, much cheaper options you can buy, right? So, for example, instead of going to a grocery chain to buy your meats, you can go to a butcher, a local farm where they will sell it for much cheaper because it is going through less hands, right? There are also these little incongruences you can do to drastically lower your grocery bill, where then it can make up for the cost to time ratio, right? So the amount of time you spend grocery shopping could be bought back by the amount you're saving by going to these alternative outlets to buy your food, right? Don't be scared and afraid to go to these sketchy delis, or not even sketchy, but like not really established local delis or local supermarkets, right? Like Asian supermarkets, etc. They may not be established, guys, but what I tell you is they sell perhaps the same quality, if not better, groceries, veggies, and meat than your local, big ass chain supermarkets, right? They are simply just small, but the veggies and food you're gonna buy are gonna be just as good quality, right? They may not be happy chickens running free range on the biggest, greenest grass, but at the end of the day, they're chicken, right? And if budget is your issue, then you shouldn't be worrying about where your meat is coming from, right? You shouldn't be worried if your chicken is getting like fed whole grain, 100% Aussie grown wheat, right? You wouldn't care about that if yourself is worried about money, right? So rounding this all up, to be effective, to stay effective in a meal plan is to realize that the meal plan itself doesn't have to be restricted. You can do anything you want, but just focus on the calorie. Don't go too under and don't go too above. Make the meal plan into the foods you like to eat every day. That is the most easiest way to start, and make sure that just fits in your calorie recommendations, right? And when you do that, make sure it is convenient and easily accessible for you so you can eat that, and that meal will be available to you anytime you feel hungry and anytime you need to eat that meal. And lastly, you can be much more affordable if you stick with the meal plan, if you buy your own food, if you cook your own food. So just realize there's nothing stopping you from creating this meal plan to lose your weight, to gain weight, etc. Whatever, it doesn't matter, right? But just remember, no matter how convenient it is, no matter how easy it is, no matter how much things you can eat, just know that nothing will work unless you have a why. Nothing will work if you have a goal to reach, right? So find that goal and strategize your meal plan, strategize your life accordingly to that goal. So you're not just eating this food mindlessly for no reason. You're having these little goals and milestones to reach, right? And when you stick with this meal plan and you start seeing the little progress, you become self-satisfied because you realize that this is putting you closer towards your goal, right? I never stick with anything because I simply didn't have a goal. I didn't have a purpose as to why I'm doing this. But the moment I found that why, everything just starts to make sense. Everything starts to make sense. Doubt vanished, and I managed to stick with it. And that forever has changed my perception of how to view things and how to view the things around me. So hopefully you guys had a wonderful day, and I did hope you guys learned something from this. But if not, that's totally fine because I'll be here tomorrow. So see you guys then.